Hello, beautiful people. My name is Grace So Amazing. So, I want to invite you to be a part of my inner circle. All right, so I am a life and personal development coach. What I do is I help people build systems. And what I mean by building systems is something that looks like habits that can help you achieve your goals in three critical areas of your life. I'm very, very particular about health and wellness, relationship and family, and career and business. Look, I understand what it means to struggle in all these areas that I have just mentioned, and I am willing to show you how to navigate through tough times. I've been there, and I'm also certified to help you navigate through these trying times. Do not take my word for it. All you need to do is click the link that you can see below and be a part of my inner circle. See you.
If you're a woman in your 40s, if you're a woman in your 40s, then you might be able to relate with what I have to say. There is this dissatisfaction you feel because for the longest time, you have pushed aside your own dreams on the table of sacrificing for those that you love. Before now, you told yourself, when I'm done giving birth, I'm going to do this thing. When my husband finishes this project, I will do mine. And for some reason, you've put everyone else before you and pushed yourself to the back. And so there's this longing in your soul, calling for those things that you've pushed behind the scenes. And now you feel this dissatisfaction. You're restless in your spirit. You know that there is more for you, but you can't figure out, how do I get out of here? You are the one I'm talking to. I say this because I've been there. For the longest time, I told myself, you know what, I wouldn't go to school so that my younger ones could go before me. And so I kept pushing that until I was ready. Of course, my last born, got into school and I'm like, yes, this is the time. But guess what? Because I've pushed myself back for too long, I ended up making the wrong decision. However, through coaching, I was able to find my way back on track. And now I'm able to impact the lives that I want to impact, loving my loved ones without having to sacrifice anything. And you can do the same thing. So I'm inviting you to be a part of the Reclaim You coaching program that I'm putting together just for you. This is not for everyone. This is for you if you're a woman in your 40s and you want to stop sacrificing yourself but still be able to love those you care about. Click the link in my bio to apply now. I have only 10 slots for this batch. See you. All right. Good afternoon. Yes, I think it's afternoon officially. Afternoon everywhere. So good afternoon and welcome to Your Voice, Your Impact with the energetic EJ and Grace. So amazing. I'm just going to bring her up on stage right about now. Hello, Gracie. Good afternoon.
Hello. How are you?
I'm awesome. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome. So we are going to dive right in by starting to do our introduction. Sorry, my light is forming somehow today. I don't understand this lighting today. It wants to be on its own. But anyways, you are welcome. This is the energetic EJ. If you don't know me before, now you do know me. It's nice to meet you. If this is your first time on Your Voice, Your Impact, you are welcome. And you may wonder, what is Your Voice, Your Impact all about? Basically, Your Voice, Your Impact is born out of a desire to remind you why we do it, like why we leave it out, that our voice is the source of our impact. That one of the ways that we can impact our world with our skills, our talents, our gifts, our expertise is by using our voice. And that's why we started this out, to remind you that you have a voice and your voice is meant for impact. And so, but again, you can't impact with your voice if you don't speak, if you don't use it. And so here is us showing you week in, week out. This has been on for the past, I'm sure it's almost 5 months now. Grace, I can't even believe it's almost that time, right? Yeah, it's almost 5 months now. We've been doing this every Monday. We come up here I mean, well, we've moved around a bit across social media, and we finally settled for YouTube, LinkedIn, X, sometimes Facebook. And so you are welcome. So if you're here listening to us, we're talking about generally everything that evolves around personal development. Because again, we know that when you have that mindset of growth, you would constantly work towards being a better version of yourself. So I'm going to start by introducing myself. I am the energetic EJ. I am a coach, a podcaster, and an event host. As a coach, I help women age 40 and above to help them tap back into abandoned dreams, to help them using coaching, help them, turn those dreams and goals into achievement, which will then birth for them a more fulfilling and happier life. As an event host, I am that person that brings the energy. That's why they call me the energetic EJ. I bring the energy to your event, whether it's a virtual event or it's an in person event. And as a podcaster, I am the host of the Stretch Street podcast, where I document stretch stories. These are challenging stories to remind you that challenges are not exclusive to any of us. We all go through them. But what separates me from you when I go through my challenge and make me more valuable as a person, despite my challenge, is the fact that what want to tell you is that most people who do this actually assume the posture of learning. And so when they learn from these challenging seasons of their life and can distill the lessons, those lessons becomes valuable assets that they can pass on to the next person, to the next generation, and that makes them more valuable. So the podcast is there as a resource for you to get inspired, for you to get motivated, for you to know that you are not alone on that journey, and on that journey or that street that is stretching you and making you feel like, oh my God, am I going to survive this? Yes, you will, because you're human and you have a resilient spirit. So this is all about me. So whichever angle you want to connect with me from, I am open to connecting. I'm happy to do life with you. And I'm going to pass on the mic right now to Grace So Amazing to also do her own introduction. And then we will get into the topic of the day, which is harnessing the power of your strengths and weaknesses. Of course, we are joined today by a fellow coach, and she's getting set and ready to join from the backstage. Coach B, if you're ready, give me a thumbs up, and I'm just going to put you up on stage. If you can hear me clearly and you're ready, give me a thumbs up and I'll bring you up on stage. So if you can raise your hands and say thumbs up, I can see you backstage. Okay, fantastic. You are ready for us. Awesome. So I'm just going to bring her up on stage. Hello, hello, Coach Boomy. Welcome, welcome to Your Voice, Your Impact. You are welcome. Okay, so I'm going to pass the mic to Grace, and then Grace is going to pass the mic to Coach. We'll do our introductions, and then we'll get into the conversation. If you're joining us from any part of the world, please do use the comment section to
Hi.
let us know
Good
that you
afternoon.
are here. Yes, good afternoon. I think your network is a bit wobbly, so you're lagging, but we can hear you and we can see you. All right, Coach Grace, over to you.
Alrighty. The energy. Oppo, oppo, oppo. Hello, Odiwama. Hello, darling. It was nice meeting you the other day. Hey, beautiful lady. All right, my name is Grace So Amazing. I am a life and personal development coach. So, what I do is I help my clients achieve their goals by building systems for them. It's very easy to set a goal and then you start with so much energy and then after a while you're losing mojo. All right, so my job is to help you build a system that looks like habit, and as you achieve your goals, you'll be having fun and you keep moving and you'll be consistent. So I would help you do that if you're watching this right now and you'd like to work with me. I'm also the founder of Friends to Lean On Global Foundation, an NGO that is centered on educating people about emotional and mental wellness. What we do is we go to organizations, we do outreaches, we educate people, we do group therapies. As a matter of fact, I'm going to use this opportunity to invite anyone watching this that we'll be having our monthly hangout this January, on the 27th of January. So I'm looking forward to seeing you on that day. Alrighty, that's me, and I'm very happy to be having this conversation. Over to you, the energetic EJ.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Well, you said January 27th. I smiled because January 27th as well, I'm having a women's meeting here, a women's hangout, you could say. But basically, we're focusing on health, wellness. So it's going to be interesting on Saturday, 27th of January, live here in Dubai. So if you're in Dubai watching this and you're looking for a women community to be supportive, where you can grow, where you can be yourself, and not be shy, to come out of your shell, then Women Talk UAE is where you want to be. And we're going to be having our physical meetup on 27th. We have our virtual meetup, I think, this Wednesday. So every second or third Wednesday of the month. And then we have our physical meetup every last Saturday of the month. So you are welcome to be our guest. Okay. The network is really dealing with Coach Olubumi. Oh my God. We need to do something about it. We need to do something about it. All right. So while we're waiting for Coach Olubumi to join us again, with via a network, like the network has even thrown her out of the studio totally. So we're going to wait, and once she comes back to the studio, we're going to bring her to join the conversation. But remember that she's here to do her introduction. So when she joins us, she will do her introduction, and then she will have her contributions. But let us kickstart the conversation today. Again, please do not be shy, whether you're connecting from LinkedIn or from YouTube. Please drop a comment in the comment section. We want this to be quite interactive. So if you have something to share with us, please pop it in the comments, and we're going to scroll it on the screen to have you be a part of the conversation. So let us open it up. Harnessing the power of your strength and weakness. My question first, I'll come with a question to Coach Grace. Is there power in your weakness?
Absolutely, absolutely. As a matter of fact, I'm going to come from the angle of duality. That's my favorite topic anytime, any day. Duality, the principle of duality in nature. And do we have is there a way to find strength in your weakness, or is there any form of power in our weakness? Absolutely. So how do I make this practical now? There is something called um positive and negative, right?
Right.
And when you have positive is just it's almost useless without negative when it comes to
Right.
electricity. So when you
Mm.
have electricity and you want to plug in your electricity and you say, positive, positive alone, and then I put only the charge, the positive charge, guess what? There will be no electricity. In the same vein, we have our creator gave us our strengths and our weaknesses for a purpose. So
Mm.
indeed, there is power in our weaknesses, and I'm sure that as we journey along, we'll talk about practical things that would help us open up, this very interesting topic, to help us see what we can actually get from there. There is a way to go about it. If we're not able to understand the power that our weaknesses carry, then we'll be sabotaging ourselves. So to answer your question, yes,
Mm.
there is indeed power in our weaknesses.
Absolutely. And I love the angle you came with, the duality. And that's life for you. The yin yang, it's ups and downs. It's good and, well, bad, or good and not favorable. Because I know you like, I don't think it's good or bad. Again, I like it's in the English. Let's
It's
just
the
say that
labeling.
for
It's
lack
labeling. We
of,
just we
for
just need to
lack of
label it.
more words, what works and what doesn't, and good and bad,
Mhm.
yin and yang, black and
Yeah.
white. But yeah, and it's true. I'm also a firm believer of that, because again, it's like if there is no failure, then success will not be appreciated. if there's no darkness, light would not be appreciated. So then, what then is the posture that we can assume to ensure that we maximize the would I say would it be called an advantage now of your weaknesses?
Yeah.
How to
Yes.
maximize it in such a way that it pushes us forward or pushes us further in the direction that we want to go. So we don't hold on to them as crutches and using them as, I don't want to say excuse, but again, is if you do not harness the power of it, it becomes an excuse. It becomes a
Yeah.
stumbling block instead of a stepping stone. And it's all in the way that you interpret it, it's all in the way that you see it, it's all in the meaning that you give to it. The fact that it is your weakness doesn't mean that it's the bane of you. I mean, talking about that and thinking about Superman and the kryptonite, right? The kryptonite is the thing that like can destroy him, but then I think, there's always a way around, even when that weakness is there, to still be able to walk your way around it in such a way that it does not destroy you, it does not bring you down. So let's get into that conversation of how can we truly harness the power, because again, when we talk about strengths, it's easy to say, oh yes, I'm good at this, oh yeah, this is what I'm good at and all of that. But the truth is, again, I don't know how to say this, it's like when you don't acknowledge that weakness, even your strength will be dissipated, because the weakness will bring down or will reduce the what's this word I'm looking for? It will reduce the power, let's say, of that strength. So
The
how
authenticity
can
of
we,
it.
yes, how can we harness this power? How can we, you know, leverage our weaknesses to complement the strength and to make us better as human beings?
All right, thank you. So, one of the reasons for us even discussing this topic is from the angle of where people are punishing themselves or sabotaging themselves because of, so let me just share a very quick story. um there's someone that was really good at his work. He was really good, he was top notch, intelligent, he was really good, but he had a weakness. He had anger issues. Now, anger was supposed to be his driving force, because anger is like it's like a fuel that you can harness to help you um achieve
It can
what
be a
you want.
driver.
Yeah, because it's like a secondary emotion. So
Emotion.
when you're angry, you're asking yourself, what is making me angry? Is it because I'm not achieving my goal? Is it because I am not where I should be? So instead of using the anger to propel you into
Well,
becoming what you want, you now use it in another light. You see where the weakness is. So this is where we're coming from a very practical angle. Now this person is like, I'm good at this, I'm good at that, but you see that my anger, it has cost me millions, it has cost me a lot. So that's for anger. This is someone that's got strength, that's got a lot, and also suffers from dealing with anger issues.
anger.
So that's one practical example, and I think it's a very good way to even highlight that sometimes our strengths can sabotage us.
Yes.
Now, if you're a loyal person, so let me be vulnerable here. I my one of the things that I have identified as my strength is my loyalty. I am
Mhm.
loyal to a
To a
fault.
fault.
Like in friendships, I'm the loyal one. I say it every time. Anyone knows that if Grace has picked you, or if Grace likes you, Grace will be loyal to you for a very long time. And I always like to give people
The
excuses.
benefit
You can't
of the
come and
doubt.
tell me that, okay, energetic did this, did that. I'll say, well, she did it to you, she has not done it to me. I am loyal like that. And I realized that this loyalty was something that I inherited from my dad. When my dad passed, some of his friends, when they were talking about how loyal my dad was. And I was like, oh wow. So this thing, because of course there's some things that you would not really know. We knew he had friends from when we were kids up until we grew up. These same
We're
friends would
still
come to our
friends.
house. We met
Wow.
their children. We became, I was like, Daddy,
How do you do
it was,
it?
how do you understand? But it was his strength. However, that strength can come as a weakness. So everything in one thing, there is a layer, and that layer there's another layer. So this strength, loyalty, can become a weakness when you don't know how to harness it. So this topic is not about harnessing just weakness, it's also
Yeah,
harnessing your
your
strength.
strengths.
Now, if you know that this thing, so another practical example is, and this one is, it was a knock in the head that made me realize that, Omo, calm down. So I am a born encourager. That's even why I am a coach. When God created me, He just gave me, go and be an encourager, to a point that I couldn't even know when to stop. There are some people that don't need you to push them to do anything. They don't need you, leave me alone. But I wasn't getting it. In my own mind, I want you to excel. Oh, yo, 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 yeah. In my quest to help this person push and become a better version of themselves, I was not getting it, that look, it's not everybody that likes this push and encouragement. Leave them alone. So a situation happened. It was a group setting, and this person met me and said she wanted me to help her do some things, and she wanted me to call her out for a particular um, wellness goal that she was on. And I love it. All I need is give me the permission. That's
And
how
I will
I
swing into action.
I will bring it out from you. And it started. And I started, encouraging her. I would call her out on the group. I didn't know it was annoying her. At some point she grew cold. And I didn't know. I now called her one day,
Mm.
and she voiced out. She told me everything, that look, I don't know, but every time you call me out, you're making it look like I'm unserious. I am this, and now it's her problem. Now, I'm saying it out clearly. Her problem is she couldn't deal with the calling out, and then my own problem was I did
You
not
didn't know when to
even.
stop.
Her own problem was as well. And me, I didn't know when to stop. This is what I do for a living. My job is for you to pay me, and I'll help you achieve your own goals, right? So I didn't know when to stop. Now, I'm using practical examples because as you're watching this right now, you can tell that there are some things that you know by yourself they are your strengths. And sometimes you beat yourself and tell yourself that, ah, Motishore Daron, I have done good and entered trouble. There are certain things,
I love that you started.
it happens to the best of us. So this is a reminder that there's beauty in learning and understanding your strengths. So the first thing I would say is itemize your strengths, itemize your weaknesses. And your weaknesses, again, there are ways that you can harness them. You that you're always saying that I get angry easily, guess what? You can use that you're getting angry easily and channel it into something beautiful. And then
Absolutely.
if you lose self-control, if your weakness is losing self-control, there's somebody that came to meet me and told me that once I see women like this, my ear go dey
Pendula
pop.
oblongata.
Oblongata go pop. I said, it's a good thing. It shows that you're a man. He now said, this is own is too much. That he doesn't have self-control. That he would almost rape them before, And we got talking, and I said, what you need is to preserve, because there is something called, from the book we read, Think and Grow Rich. There is the sexual desire, how you can channel your
Desire.
sexual,
Yeah, how you can
yes,
channel.
right?
Yeah.
Absolutely. So the thing is, understand your weaknesses. I know my weaknesses. Sometimes what's that one thing that I was saying, that I get bored easily like this. Once I'm doing, I'm bored, I want something else. How did I harness that particular attribute,
Weakness.
that weakness? If you might call it's a weakness, because if you get bored easily, you're likely to change things. It's
So
like
it's
a
like you're
weakness.
hopping. It's like, what are
You're
you doing?
hopping, you
Always
understand?
changing. Yeah.
So what did I do? So the beauty of harnessing your weakness, or your weaknesses, or your strength, is understanding that this thing is a weakness and it is sabotaging me. What do I now do to ensure that this thing would serve me instead of make me weak? Because I believe that all those things are there for us to know how to use them to our advantage.
Right.
So when I realized that any small thing I'll be bored, I want the next thing, any small thing I'll be bored, I now developed a system that can help me to still be in that thing and create it. And I started allowing my creativity
To
to
flow.
blow, to flow.
Mm.
So it was in harnessing my weakness of getting bored easily.
Oh. The network. Is it mine? Is it hers? I don't know. Guys, let me know in the comment section. I know that you can hear me, so please let me know. Is Grace's video frozen right now, or is it mine that is frozen? I don't know if it's my network, but I think Grace's video is frozen at the moment. But such an amazing conversation we've been having so far. Please let me know in the comment section if you're here. Let me know. Please give me some
I tapped
feedback
into my
in the
creativity,
comments.
and every
Okay.
time I get into something, I find, my dear, a call came in and disrupted
Ah,
our
okay. I was wondering,
communication.
like, is this me? Is this her? What's going on? Okay. Thank you, Coach Olubumi. Okay, awesome, awesome. Yes, awesome. Right. I can
Is
hear
she
you now.
is she coming? Yeah. So
No, the
apparently,
network is bad, so she's on the other side, so she'll be commenting.
oh, fantastic. All right. So to simplify this is, number one, understand, we all know, if we want to be truthful to ourselves, we know what our strengths are and we know what our weaknesses are. But we always sidelining, and people would tell us most times, our close friends, your family, now your family with you, your own, no, the party, so we should itemize what our strengths are, itemize what our weaknesses are, and understand what our weaknesses are stopping us from achieving, and understand what our strength, when our strength is becoming a weakness. So the goal is to harmonize. The goal is
Yeah,
to harmonize
gotta
it
have.
to our
Yeah.
advantage.
I
Yeah.
love that.
So
I love that. So as you said, first things first is listed. What came to mind was just be aware, and then Coach Olubimi now wrote it again in the comment section to say that's the first place to start from, awareness. Be aware of the strengths and the weaknesses. Again,
yeah.
is sometimes what we do is because naturally as humans we are prone to negative, like we
Mm,
are quick to see negative things. So it's easier for most of us to recognize our weaknesses than our strengths.
yeah.
Like it's so bad that people will give you feedback of your strength and you will still downplay it. Like,
Mhm.
well, I don't hear you. Be boboing me. Stop watching me. But they're literally giving you
It's
feedback.
true. Yeah.
So first things first, be aware. And once you are aware, whether you generated the awareness or it was generated for you, accept it. Accept it. I love that. Olubimi says then emotional intelligence will help a lot. Thanks. Absolutely, coach. And thank you for the contribution in the comment section. Right. So be aware of it, whether you are the one creating the awareness or it is being created for you, like somebody else is bringing the awareness into your consciousness. Once you look at it, like, don't be too quick to downplay what any feedback that somebody gives to you, good or bad,
Yeah.
strength or weakness. If somebody says to you, and especially when it comes one, two, three people, please don't downplay it. Don't say no, that's what you think. You can't see yourself. You have
Absolutely.
blind spots. And that's why feedback are great. But again, there is the so again, one of my strengths, for example, is accepting feedback. But it can easily go into weakness if I am big on validation.
Mm.
Because if I'm now big on validation, it will now mean like my whole life will now be tweeting towards, okay, what are they saying? What are they saying? What did this person say? What did this person say? What is this person? Do you get? And it's just going to put me on edge all the time. But now I understand the difference between feedback and wanting validation. So that way I can see the feedback that is coming. But that feedback, I love feedback. I thrive on it. So when somebody tells me, EJ, why are you like always, why are you snobbish? I'm like, really? Am I? Like, do I give out that? Like, am I vibing that? Why did you say so? Why do you say that? Like the way like you're not smiling. I'm like, oh, okay. So now I know, guys, I know. So when this name came, when my name came, energetic EJ, right? I believe that it was a revealed name, right? Because since I started answering that name, it's like it's working. So now the thing is, I can't even stay in a down state for too long unless I'm alone, unless I'm without people around me. The moment I have people around me, I can't be down because people like, energetic, you dey, where is the energy? Energetic. And by the time they keep calling that name, the energy comes back. It's like they're calling it forth. It comes back to life,
Mm.
right? So, but now I have known the difference between being, you know, receiving feedback and being, stuck up on validation.
Yep.
Feedback sometimes it is harsh. Sometimes it is hard. It's even more painful when it is truthful. So watch yourself every time you get a feedback and it pinches you or it makes you angry or it upsets you. Like, who the hell does he think she is? Who is he to tell me that? Calm down, calm down. There's something about that thing they said that is true. And that's why it's paining you. Like, why would he be that person to tell me? I should have known this by myself. So calm down and ask yourself, why am I getting upset that this person said this thing? Is it true? Is it true? And I think that's where emotional intelligence comes in, because one of the biggest thing about emotional intelligence is you being aware of how you're feeling, what you're thinking, and how other people are reacting around you and how you react back to them. So that awareness is really, really massive on this journey of
Yeah.
harnessing your weakness and your strength. Because when you are aware that, okay, this is a strength, this is a weakness, again, when do you even know when it's a strength or a weakness? Is a strength when it can push you forward towards your goal and your destination. It's taking you higher. It becomes a weakness when it is pulling you down or taking you farther away from your goal or your intention. So again, that's why it's like it might be, like you said, anger. Generally, you think anger is a bad thing. No, people who are activists, they are angry. They are angry at people being marginalized or things going wrong or things not being done in the right way. And that anger is foiling their activism. Like, I'm not going to sit down here and watch you speak to a woman disrespectfully. I'm not going to sit down here and watch you speak to a man disrespectfully because what? And that anger at that thing that is a misfit for them or what they've
Yeah.
interpreted it to be fuels their activism. So again, you see that it's not like it's good or bad. So for you, if you feel like you're temperamental, right, know when it can be a strength and when it can be a weakness, because that same emotion, that same thing can be a strength or weakness. So for example, I'm an extrovert. As extroverts, we are very playful people, but that same playfulness can be a weakness in certain,
Yeah.
environments. You can't be too playful in a professional environment. It waters
Mm.
down your professionalism. It waters down whatever value that you bring to the table, because then people be like they don't take you seriously. So you should know when to appropriate it. And you can only know that when you are aware of what it is, what it represents. And then another thing I feel like can also help is when you know if it's not serving your growth per time, then it's something that you need to pay attention to.
Mm.
So if, like you said, I'm loyal, I'm loyal, I'm loyal. If your loyalty to a particular in a particular relationship is not serving you and the person, then at that point you might need to step back. You might need
Absolutely.
to put in boundaries in
Mm,
place to say, I'm loyal, but is my loyalty at this point enabling this person? Imagine
mm,
you are loyal to a promiscuous person, for example, and you are friends of the family, but your friend, whether the husband or the wife, is the one doing this. Yes, you want to be loyal to say, I got my friend, right? I want to watch their back. Of course, you're speaking to them, you are cautioning
mm,
them, you're like, this thing you are doing is not good and everything. But imagine if you're not in the middle, you can't cover up for that kind of person for too long because of loyalty. The
yeah.
covering up at that point is not going to help them. It's not going to help them. It's not going to help their relationship with their spouses or anything, right? So you'll be able to know, okay, guy, if you're not going to hear what I have to say, if you're not going to see reasons with me, then maybe we should pause on this friendship because I can't, my loyalty will not even allow me to watch you do this to yourself or to your
Yeah.
loved ones, right? So again, it's having that balance, understanding, when to make a shift to say, okay, this at this point is a weakness and I need to harness it and make it a strength. Yeah. So
I want to ask you, what do you think? Where would you place stubbornness? Is stubbornness a weakness or a strength?
it could be both, depending on, because this one, classic one for kids and parents, kids, children, and their parents. There are parents who are very stubborn. And of course, the children got the stubbornness from you, right? But they want what they want. They want what they want. I mean, there is the point where it becomes their a weakness, but also it's like sometimes um parents, I can say our parents because now we too we are now parents. Like, hey God, this thing that mom say and popsy were doing that year. Look at me. Look at me in the same shoe now. My God. Right? It's like for some of our parents, because they could not live the life that they wanted or the life
Mm,
that they knew they should live, most times it feels like they want to live their life through their kids.
with their kids. True. Very correct.
That's why they're so adamant. They can't even see. They're so adamant. They refuse to see the the strengths and the weaknesses of this child that they're dealing with. To see that this babe or this son, this daughter of mine is struggling with mathematics. Like he's blossoming in the arts. And there is nothing wrong if he wants to be a musician. Given
Mm,
the right guidance, he will be an amazing musician and will be fulfilling his purpose. But for them, like, me, because I wanted to do, I didn't do it. Now I will make sure you be a lawyer. In this family, we need a lawyer in this family. We need a doctor in this family. We need a professional in this family. And you are going to do what I have to say. And then they make the child's life so miserable. And then the child goes and do all those things for them and say, okay, Shebi, I don't get the certificates now.
take.
Take. And that's how you find that a lot in our time, you find a lot of people who studied something differently and now they are doing something like totally different. Like you see a
Yeah.
doctor, a lawyer becoming a coach or becoming a teacher or becoming a musician, and you're wondering, like, how? Because they just did that for their parents. But the thing is now that now in the next generation, if we're not being intentional, if we're not aware, if we're not really paying attention, we will probably repeat the same thing,
Yeah.
even in our work states. It's funny, even in our wokeness, thinking that we are woke, we are liberal, we are. It's a lie. It's So again, that awareness is very very vital in any way, in any angle that we look at it from. That awareness is vital in knowing, okay, these are my strengths, these are my weaknesses. I mean, my question to you, Grace, is when you think about, because when I was thinking about, I was also thinking about, SWOT analysis, how, company do it, but you also have it for personal growth,
Yeah.
is the SWOT, the strength, the weaknesses, the opportunity, and the threat. So when you think about, okay, I'm seeing some, yeah, I'm seeing some contribution. Thank you for the contribution. Okay, let me segue here for quickly. Olubimi says, I guess the ability to regulate serves as the test of maturity. Woo! Coach Bumi, you should be having this conversation, but network wouldn't allow us to be great, but we'll deal with the network next week. Thank you so much. Yes. So the ability to regulate, I love that. It's like knowing. So today it might be up, tomorrow it might be down. I love that. And Helen says here, that's so true. Even with my parents, they said if anyone asks what you want to be, tell them you want to be a dog. Can you
Wow.
imagine? They will plant the seed in you, like say if anybody asks, you better say you want to be a dog. Oh my goodness.
Wow. That's
Absolutely.
serious.
Again, that awareness. So Grace, where do we when we think about the SWOT, it now brings in two extra elements that we need to consider: the threats and the opportunities. What are your thoughts about that when it comes to strength and weaknesses? So the threat and opportunities, where do they play in the bigger scheme of things?
Okay, so before I touch on that, um, I found my true passion by working at a boutique and found that I really enjoyed business and studied it. Yeah. All right, fantastic. So
Mhm.
I'm a firm believer that there is nothing you do that is a waste. Nothing you do on this earth that is a waste.
True,
Anything
true.
you've learned, be rest be just know
Rest
that you're going
assured,
to,
yeah, that
yeah,
is going to be
you know
useful.
why I am stuttering in that thing. Somebody said that English is not correct, so I
The
wanted
rest
to
assured is not correct.
that be rest assured that rest
No, no,
assured
no.
is
The B
correct.
is no, the B is out. It should be rest
Yeah.
assured.
Anyway, yeah. So about regulating nature, my biggest place to learn is nature.
Hmm.
And you understand that we have seasons, and
Right.
when we look at, so this year in Nigeria, Hamatan, I would say that it didn't come, the way, especially in Abuja, Hamatan usually comes with cold and everything, but
I think it's a global warming thing because even here, normally we should be cold right now, but it's like I feel like we're getting warm again. I'm like, what's going on January? Like we should right now, in fact, in December we should be windy and really cold, but it was just normal. Yeah.
beautiful. Now, that's global warming, and we understand that nature comes back full force. Nature comes back full force. If it rains heavily this period, and we and our activities, it while we were receiving some of these things, there's a way nature works. And then we with our own activities will just come and do what we want to do.
Disrupt.
Nature will come full force. In the same vein, we as human beings, with our strengths and our weaknesses, if we don't harness it adequately,
Hmm.
some of these things would come and bite us. So when she talked about regulating it, and that's where the opportunities and threats and everything would come to play, know that, look, if you don't, and it's part of, we can still tie this. I think we can tie this to another topic where we'll talk about our strengths, our gifts and talents, where if we're not harnessing some of these things that we have, using
It,
them as we should,
yes, it
we
causes
are so awareness is key. There is no longer room for ignorance that I
true.
don't know now. Go and learn. When we talk about, be intentional about learning, it's not like because we feel like talking. I think that some things that I know today and how I'm beginning to enjoy life is my ability to learn, our
Learn.
curiosity, some of those things that we have. So curiosity is a part of us. But Africa, we downplay curiosity with some things that we say, curiosity kills. So I'm diverting, I'm
Restrictive
doing it, but
part.
everything I'll bring them together at the end of the day, because these things are supposed to be our strength. I was
Hmm.
observing and checking some of these countries that are doing well, and why some African countries are not doing well. Again, our strength. Again, it's just giving me some hot nuggets coming out. in Africa, in Nigeria, what are our strengths? We have, think of any natural resources, we have it in Nigeria.
Hmm. Hmm.
So this is me. I'm bringing in the opportunities, the threats, and
The
everything.
threat,
I don't know.
absolutely.
I'm trying to bring all together. Look at Nigeria. We have all the natural resources that
This
you can
person
think of.
calling. Okay, fine.
Pity. Someone is calling you. Okay. The inability to understand that we can harness our strength for our own good would help us see our strength and feel that, okay, I have this, I
It's
have that.
normal.
And at the end of the day, sabotage ourselves. Now, let me use weakness as a global, on a global level. Singapore, no natural resources, no
Hmm.
water, no nothing. But Singapore is among the first, if you call the first five wealthiest countries in
Countries
the world. Dubai,
in the
let me
world.
even say Dubai. You know now, Dubai is a complete desert.
Absolutely.
So
I
these
know.
are countries that realized that they were weak in certain areas. They didn't have certain things, and they became aware that look, oh, this thing
It's threats.
is looking like a threat,
Threat.
right?
Yeah.
So let's look within and see how we can harness our weakness into, a global.
Opportunities.
Now, when you go to Singapore realized that they were shortchanged in terms of natural resources. So what did they use that? What did they do? What did they achieve? So if you can get it, you see that thing you're calling your weakness, let it be a propeller. Let it
Hmm.
be a propeller, because we can keep and again, we can continue to talk about practical. Me, I love to give practical examples. Me particularly, I would say that there were some things about me that I just downplayed because I felt I'm so good at this thing. After a while,
You
you
become
know,
complacent. Hmm.
because I thought I was so good, and at the end of the day, now studies have shown that, or studies we're beginning to see that people that graduated with first class that are very good are not really making, they are still working for people. And those people that failed, that, quote and unquote, they did not pass, they were C students, they were average students. They are the ones creating companies for the first class to come and work for them. Now they realize that, or more, I don't mess up. Oh, that would be seen as a weakness. I failed in this area. We can put all these things together, and we'll start to understand what we are saying when it comes to harnessing that thing that you're
Your
calling your
weakness.
weakness.
Hmm.
And at the end of the day, you would make great opportunities from these things that you are seeing as your weakness. So awareness, we cannot say awareness enough. And
Enough.
another thing that would help you is continuous learning.
Yeah.
Ah, you see that continuous learning, it is it is the best gift you can give to yourself. And it's not as
Hmm.
if you have to go to one school. When I mean learning, there are little things, even like watching this video, you know,
You're
is
picking
you
one or two
learning something.
things. Absolutely.
And then when you sit down on your own, you were talking about when I asked you that question about stubbornness. On the lighter note, I was watching an interview, a man and his wife, and they asked the man, what did you find attractive in your? He said, somebody is stubborn, very
And
stubborn.
that's what attracted him.
Exactly, but when he started talking, when he broke it down, he said that she's so stubborn that if she wants to achieve anything, she would achieve
She
it.
would do it. Exactly.
So if
Exactly.
you're so before, I used to say, like, if you want to know people that are doing things, they are rugged, they are stubbornly stubborn. They are stubborn. You cannot walk, goats. I used to use goats and sheep. I used to use them as an example. Like sheep, you can just cut them. They used to do some more double. They used to do double, one kind, one kind. And they're so easy to catch. And but you see goats, you go hear them. You go
You
hear
put
you yourself.
reason for my
You yourself go no say you find something, so it's not easy. So understanding that your strength can be your weakness is key, and understanding that your weakness can be
Can
can
turn to your
is,
strength.
is also is key. So in
Yeah.
all of this, you're able to know where to find opportunities when it is becoming a when it is looking
Threat.
like
Hmm.
we don't have. I'm going to keep quiet after this. We went for a retreat, so I have this hangout for women as well, from where we go and express ourselves through our own personal creativity. And I got everything. I got drinks and everything, and then just small water, because we planned for about 5 people. We were just about 10 of us, and then two other people joined. So we already planned for 10 people. So when the lady joined us, and she saw that there was no water. There's what scarcity. What scarcity would do to you in terms of, hey, hey. So I'm bringing it from your weakness. When you notice that you're not good in this area, and you know that you're not good in this area, it should make you say, me, I'm not too good for this. Let me go and learn what will make me become better in this field. Let me learn what will make me become better in this. Look at us talking now. Before now, I knew I was maybe shy. I won't say shy, but I didn't think I was good enough to come on
Come
online to
on.
be talking. So because I identified that as a weakness, what did I do? I started learning. I started reading books. I started practicing. I started doing. If you call me now, come Grace, there's this topic, just blah blah blah. Let's talk about it. I'll be, when, where? Let's go there.
Let's go there. Right.
So as a country, Nigeria, somebody would say that um, our gift has become our curse. And
Hmm.
that statement is true because we did not earnest it
It
well.
became
But we can
complacent. Yeah.
rewrite it. We can rewrite
Hmm.
our story and
Hmm.
understand that, look, this is our strength when we understand it, and we understand our weaknesses as well on a global level, and we look for how to balance it. I think all these countries are enjoying themselves. I think they've been able to understand their strengths and weaknesses,
And
and they've been
weaknesses.
able to know how to harness it for their own good. So I think that's
Absolutely.
where I would start.
Absolutely. I love what Helen says here. Helen says having a vision of what we want is so important because it forces us to future focus. And so when you know what you want, you would know what you have that can take you there or can pull you away from there. And based off of that, you can begin to do the work there, learn on the parts where you don't know, and then and then move on. While we were talking, one other thing that came to mind as we are getting ready to round this off is when we talk about strengths and weaknesses, let's not leave it to only personal attributes, right? Our stories
Mm,
is also a source of strength or weakness. So there are some of
absolutely.
us who have been through things that makes us feel guilt, ashamed, unworthy, and we feel like those are weaknesses, and we try to
Mm,
hide them. We try to sit on them. We try to push them to the back, like, let people not know about this. So, hey, yeah, 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 yeah. Not knowing that that story, that incident, that circumstances that you're trying to hide, that you feel like it's a weakness, is actually meant to turn into a source of strength for you.
beautiful.
So
That's
when
true.
you think about your strength and your weaknesses, don't leave it to only your personal attributes. Look around you and look at the things that you have and the things that you don't have, that you are looking at, that is because I don't have this thing. That is why I
Mm,
am where I am. Be careful because, like Steve Harris would always say, it is not what you don't have that is the problem. It is what you
mm,
have, but you don't know
that
how to
you know to
use.
use.
That story you have that you don't know how to use. that circumstances, that failure, that thing you call failure, that you already have it. You have already
Mm.
experienced it. You cannot unexperience it. You can't change it. It has happened. So how can you use it for your good or for the good of others? And that turns it, it automatically turns it into something else. It is why you hear the message, you turning your mess into a message. Is because you carry that thing like a weakness and you say, oh, I was once here, but please do not be like me. Watch, do not fall into this hole like I did. And in that sense, you're not calling for a pity party, you're
Mm.
not calling for attention, but you are calling and warning others. And that places you now, removes you from victimhood to what? Victor, to a source of inspiration to other people. So when we talk about these things, don't leave it alone to, oh, anger, I can speak, I cannot speak, I can dance, I cannot dance, I'm good at mathematics, I'm not good at mathematics, right? To also
Mm.
know that, what are my stories? What are my experiences? What are those things that I'm ashamed of? Think about it. Should you really, really, really be ashamed of it? Simple, and it could be as simple as even your physical attributes. Some people are like, ah,
Yeah.
my nose is too broad. And all through when you were in school, they call you nose. Your head is big. When you were in school, they call you Edward. And all of
No,
those things you carry, sir.
sir, people are interested.
Yeah, bad. We were bad in school, we know. Right? But you've
Right.
carried those things and now you make excuses for yourself and say, oh, it's because my head is too big. I can't get that job because people are going to look at my head and see it's all in your mind. You can literally change it. So even the things that you know, when you appreciate it, when you recognize it and you accept it that okay, this is a weakness for me, in your mind you can begin to think about how can I make this work for me? And from your thoughts, it brings out the feeling. From the feeling, it evokes the action. But when you say, you know what, this thing is not working for me now, how can I make it work for me and not against me? It begins, your mind and your brain begins to see all the different opportunities that can come out of that thing. Thank you so very much, Gracie. Do you have any final words to say as we say goodbye on the show today? Thank you for joining us, guys. Again, this is your voice, your impact. We believe that you have a voice, so please start using it. Start using it. We didn't start today to just come here and be talking like this. Like, no, it took practice. It took doing the work to become better at it. And you can do the same thing, regardless of what that thing is that you're aspiring to be. Whether you want to be a speaker, you want to be a coach, you want to be a footballer, whatever it is you want to be, you have to do the thing to become the thing. And this is what we are doing. And we're not just saying it, we are showing you that is actually is possible. Using your voice for impact is possible. And I do hope that you've learned a thing or two from today's conversation. You have to join us again next week, Monday, as we dive into another topic talking about your voice, your impact. Thank you so much, Helen, for being here. Yes, Grace, over to you.
All right. So, one practical thing that we should do today, after this, or when you're free, is to itemize at least 10 things that you know are your strengths, and then 10 things that you know that you that are your weaknesses. 10 each. Look for, you would see. No matter how little, look for it, and then when you're able to come up with 20, that's 10 on both ends, then you can now question what you need to do to help you use them to your advantage.
Absolutely. And
Remember,
if you
I
do need help
told
with that, yes, please reach
I
out.
can also help. Yeah.
Yes, please reach out. If you're not sure, maybe you list out the 10 each and you're like, okay, how do I, make this better, or how do I harness this? I don't know where to go next. You probably need a third eye to look at it for you. So you can reach out to Coach Grace, and he should be able to help you build a system around that to harness your weaknesses into your strengths and even make your strengths better. All right. Thank you so much for being here with us again today. This is the energetic EJ, one and only. Any other energetic EJ is a counterfeit. I said what I said. Okay.
Alrighty.
See you
Bye,
next week,
everyone.
Monday. Take care. Bye. Thanks for being a part of the conversation. Bye, guys.